Welcome to another video from ExplainingComputers.com. This time I'm going to talk about 3D scanning, and in particular the free Autodesk application 123D Catch. To show how this works, I'm going to take this wooden elephant, turn it into a digital scan, and then print it out on an Ultimaker 2 3D printer. Many devices can turn a physical object into a digital 3D model. In industry, high-end scanners like this RexScan CS Plus capture the form of an object by placing it on a turntable and rotating it in front of a head that features two cameras and an LED light source. Alternatively, to scan large objects that cannot be placed on a turntable, other high-end 3D scanners like the Artec EVA are manually moved around an object, such as a person, in order to capture a 3D model of their shape and texture. It's also possible to scan a person in a custom-built scanning booth fitted with a large number of digital SLR cameras. Personal 3D scanners include the MakerBot digitizer. Here, an object is placed on a turntable where two lasers are projected onto it while it rotates before a single CMOS sensor. The Matter and Form 3D scanner has a similar turntable, two-laser and CMOS design, while the Scanify from Fuel 3D is a handheld point-and-shoot device that captures shape and colour data from a pair of cameras. 3D Systems also offers a relatively low-price consumer scanner called the Sense, which again has a two-camera handheld design. As an alternative to investing in dedicated hardware, anybody can use the free 123D Catch app from Autodesk to turn a series of photographs into a 3D model. The software is available for Android and Apple tablets and smartphones, or can be run in a browser. However, here I'm going to install and use the version for a Windows PC. To create a scan, I first need to position a 3D object in a well-lit location. I then need to grab a camera, and here I'm using my trusty Nikon D200, although any camera will work just fine. To create a good 3D scan, you need to completely rotate around your object and to shoot at least 20 photographs of it. To maximise the chance of success, here I'm rotating around the elephant twice from two different angles and capturing a total of 36 images. Having launched the 123D Catch desktop package, I need to select my series of photos. Then, with the photos selected, I'm going to click the green arrow. I'm then required to enter some metadata, after which the program will upload my photos, capture a file from them, and then download it back to my PC. And there we are. With the processing complete, we get a 3D view of our scan, which we can move around and inspect. As you can see, we also get a virtual representation of the cameras that created the scan. As I hope you appreciate, what 123D Catch has done is very clever indeed, as my camera was completely wild with no data on its different positions. Selecting the appropriate tool, zooming in with the mouse wheel, and going back to rotation mode, you can see that the scan of my elephant really is very good indeed. However, there are inevitably some extra polygons at the base that we don't want, and to sort this out, I'm next going to use another free Autodesk app. To do this, I'm going to select Export Capture As to save my elephant as an OBJ object file. Purchased by Autodesk in 2011, Meshmixer is a really cool piece of free software for manipulating 3D scans and other 3D objects. Available for Windows PC or Mac, here I've installed the PC version, into which I've imported my elephant OBJ file. To get rid of the unwanted polygons at the bottom, I'm going to select Edit and Plane Cut. I'll then move the resultant cutting plane down through the object so that it'll slice across the elephant just above the bottom of the legs. I'll select Hard Edge as I want a nice flat base, and then accept the operation. To make sure that things will 3D print OK, I'm next going to use the Make Solid function, which will leave us with a nice final 3D object. Lastly, I'll select Export and save the file in STL ASCII format, which will take Meshmixer a bit of time to process. As I explained in my recent Ultimaker 2 workflow video, to make a 3D print, I've finally loaded the Elephant STL file into the Cura's slicing package. Here I've scaled it to 75mm tall before exporting G-code for the object to an SD card that can be inserted into a patiently waiting Ultimaker 2. The printer will then get on with printing the elephant out one layer after another, and which I think is a really cool thing to watch. But don't worry, we won't watch it for 6 hours, which was the time it took to print the elephant out. Finally, I'll introduce my plastic printout of the elephant to the original wood carving. Oh, and just because I had the time, I've also printed out this larger version of the elephant. And, having done this, it also really seemed necessary to make a tiny little baby version of the elephant just to finish things off. Autodesk 123D Catch and Meshmixer are fantastic free apps to experiment with, and especially so if you've got an interest in 3D printing. But now that's it from me and the elephants, and I hope to talk to you again very soon.